Alright, welcome back to Game Smash. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Was Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we got a bunch of different topics. We'll be talking about Last Guardian, the Phantom Dust developer, the Order 1886, 86, Bloodborne getting a story trailer, Harmonix working on a new rock band, possibly, and then Agnos being revealed for KI. But first, let's talk about what we've been playing. Obviously, pretty much just continued playing Monster Hunter 4. You know, fun times. The one thing I do miss, though, is I played a lot of hours of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, so I had a really souped-up farm. I had a lot of equipment, so kind of going back to Monster Hunter 4 and not having all that it's pretty like, oh... Because I used to have a farm that would just give me stuff by the truckloads, and now I'm getting like 2 bugs or stuff like that. The other thing is that me and my friend, we've made it to kind of like the New Game Plus mode. Because there's Plus mode, and then there's G rank, which is kind of like a New Game Plus Plus. Where where the monsters are like stupidly strong and have like a lot of health. But it's kind of nice to, you know, refight some of the beginner monsters, but they're a lot tougher. So it's kind of fun. Just me and my friend, we've been doing that for the most part this week. But yeah, so what you been playing, Fawaz?
I haven't really been playing a whole lot. I played a little bit of Dragon's Crown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I dusted it off. It's still fun. I do wish they had released some DLC for that game because I've beaten the dungeons and the bosses more times than I care to count now.
Yeah.
I tried out a different class though, and that was fun. I started using the mage. I beat the game with the archer, but I started using the mage, and he's fun and stuff. But he's a little difficult because I play solo. I play solo, so I don't have a tank or anything.
Yeah. So you gotta have to adapt to what you got.
Pretty much. So there's that. And, you know, I played a little Hearthstone, played a little Guilty Gear. Yeah. That's
nice.
what I've been playing.
Well, yeah, I've been getting back into Hearthstone. The new deck that I've been making, there's a hunter card called Feign Death or something like that. And I've been having a lot of fun making Death Rattle decks with that. Just because when I first heard of it, I thought it actually killed your creatures. So I didn't understand that it just activates the Death Rattle. Yeah. So it's a pretty interesting card, and I had a couple of really awesome moments of just activating all kinds of stuff.
So yeah, for those that don't know, in Hearthstone, there's this ability called Death Rattles, where, you know, if a creature dies, it does something.
Like an ability.
Yeah. Well, the card that this scumbag Tanner is talking about, it activates the Death Rattle, but it doesn't actually kill the creature. So, for example, there's a card called Savannah Highmane.
Yeah.
When you kill it, it spawns 2 little creatures. So if he has the Savannah Highmane on the board and he plays that card, the Highmane will spawn the 2 creatures, but the Highmane will still be alive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then you have that legendary card that doubles your Death Rattles, so that when you activate it, you actually get 4 hyenas, and your Highmane is still up. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much what we've been doing. But let's go dive into some news. So, you know, finally, you know, my prayers were answered, Fawaz. You know, Last Guardian still in development. So Sony's basically saying that yes, guys, Last Guardian is still in development, regardless of the trademark lapse. So don't worry about it. We're still working on it. So I'm kind of happy to hear that. I would wish they would give us a release date. You know, that would be nice.
A release date? They haven't even given. Wow, you are a very optimistic gentleman. I gotta give you that.
You know, I find it's better to be an optimist than a pessimist. I don't know.
True, I guess. I prefer being a realist. We haven't gotten a trailer in almost 10 years, and you're asking for a release date. That is hilarious.
Well, one can still dream. At least we're still in development. I guess I should just count my blessings.
This is true.
But yeah, so just good to hear. Hopefully we'll get some more news eventually, but let's just hope it just comes out at this point. On other news, unfortunately, Phantom Dust developer actually closed recently. They were working on, I guess I don't really know that much about the game, but I heard it was a cult classic kind of JRPG, and they announced it at E3. According to the articles, I think the game is still in development. It's just the development house that was working on it is not like existing anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, that was one of the pleasant surprises for me at E3. Was Phantom Dust, because I knew about Phantom Dust on the Xbox. It's like it's a primarily multiplayer game where you're using a bunch of wizards. Let's say spellcasters.
Yeah,
it's set in like modern day, but using a bunch of spellcasters. So and you just it was like an arena. Third-person game where you had a bunch of different spells, and there were some really cool spells in the game. Like there was one that let you eavesdrop on the opposing team's conversation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so if you did that, I never really got the chance to play it, unfortunately, because the opportunity just never presented itself. But I knew about the game when it came out on the Xbox. So when it was announced for the Xbox One, I was really excited and pleasantly surprised because I thought it's like you said, it didn't sell very well, so I didn't.
Well, like that's what we mean. It was a cult classic. Like even one of the guys, like Microsoft heads that was talking about, it said this game is really good, just not enough people played it. Yeah.
So I was glad to hear that Microsoft were giving it a shot. So I was really disappointed to hear that the developers closed their doors, and all the best to them. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm also still glad to hear that the game is still being developed. So yeah, looking forward to hopefully seeing more of that at E3.
Yeah, exactly. Because I kind of like a trend of just rebooting classic games that nobody's heard about. I like that because especially after it's like you get so many like Halos or Gears or stuff like that. It's kind of like if you're gonna reboot something that no one's ever heard of. Yeah. And but yeah, so here's hoping the game still gets developed. But yeah, it seems very interesting, and I'd love to see it on like a next gen console or something like that because it would be pretty cool to say the least. So next on our list, Fawaz, our favorite game in the world, The Order 1886. It's not doing too great. The reviews have been lukewarm at best. Although I will say this, from all the footage I saw, game looks great. Game looks presentation-wise really, really like... Well, what I mean presentation-wise, I mean graphics, like the models themselves. Yeah. Like the actual... Like the way the characters are moving, and the whole color scheme aspect of it is not the greatest because it's gray corridors, woohoo. But I still think, like, especially the one thing that people always talk about, yo, dude, look at these reload animations, they're so good. It's like I remember back in the day when in Resident Evil 4, like just watching Leon reload the revolver was like the greatest thing in the world. But yeah, but what are your thoughts on this so far?
Well, the reviews have been polarizing, to say the least. I think we can safely say this is the video game equivalent of Marmite, because you either love it or you hate it. Like, it's gotten perfect scores on some websites, and it's gotten like 4s on other websites. But overall, it has like a 66 on Metacritic. So So I'm guessing the bad far outweighs the good. I just want to make something clear. I didn't want to hate this game. I actually I did some I did some research on the game. I love the setting for one.
Yeah, the setting is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I read that the Order, apparently they're like descendants of the Knights of the Round Table, which is also pretty cool. And in the game you meet a couple of historical figures, like you meet Nikola Tesla, and you and you start hearing rumors about this serial killer who murders prostitutes,
Yeah,
Jack the
Jack
Ripper.
the
So
Ripper.
I love stuff like that. I love when a movie or a game or TV show has a historical backdrop. The stuff
Yeah.
that's happening, and then in the background, historical things that we know about.
Yeah, it's kind of like stuff where it's like Joe Schmo wouldn't know necessarily about the historical reference, but those who do are kind of like, oh, okay, I get it. That's pretty
Yeah,
neat.
yeah. But with all that said, I like to, play. I mean, you know me. I don't even like Uncharted. Like,
Yeah.
I consider Uncharted too on rails for me and not interactive enough. So a
Yeah.
game like this that is just full of cutscenes, I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
never going to work. It's full of unskippable cutscenes. Like I
Oh
was in a
god.
game design class in a couple years ago, and we were just lamenting the unskippable cutscene and how that
Yeah.
is something that shouldn't exist anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
the classic unskip. But when I think unskippable cutscenes, I think like the freaking Final Fantasy ones from Dirge of Cerberus. Oh my god. Like literally I had a situation where I was a lot younger and my dad said, "All right, you can turn off the game once this cutscene's over." And I'm like, "Okay, sure, no problem." And like half an hour later, he was like, "What the fuck? Why is this game still going?" But yeah,
yeah,
it is kind of nuts not being able to skip certain cutscenes, and especially since some people who like, especially if you're replaying the game,
exactly. So
it's the worst. Yeah,
yeah, so this is a game that wasn't even designed to be replayed, like right out the gate, because
yeah,
you have a game full of, I mean, you have a, from what I hear anyway, relatively short game, and then it has no multiplayer. It's full
yeah.
of unskippable cutscenes, so it's not even designed for multiple playthroughs. So like you have a $60 game that isn't designed to be played very long.
Yeah, and that's the thing for me is that that's the biggest difference between like design choices. Like, for example, think of The Last of Us. I
Yeah,
played that game 3 different times, and it was awesome because even though when you play it on a harder difficulty, you get less
yeah,
items, and the actual item positions are swapped and moved around. So you
yeah,
might go, oh, there's supposed to be an item back here, but if you're on a harder difficulty, it's like, no, it's not there anymore. It's in a different spot or something
yeah.
like that. And I really like that because it made replaying the game kind of different. And
This
also you could kind of, think of different strategies. But with this, you kind of just, you got your guns. There's not a whole lot of RPG elements from at least from what I saw. And
no.
it's like you can't even vary your strategy. Like it's the concept of it's like if you give the player an easy way to deal with a situation, they are just gonna use that way. Like even though there's tons of different guns and stuff like that, like if they just get used to the shotgun, for example, and they can just blow through the game with the shotgun, they're never gonna use anything else.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the downside with the design choices that they made for this game and how linear it is. And I don't know. I still think the graphics are really good, but even so, like it's very cinematic. But I don't know. I think it lacks the charm that Uncharted had. Like I know you don't like Uncharted, but
Not
it's
even
like
slightly.
yeah, it's just yeah. But it's like I look at this and I'm just like I don't see the charm. I see an interesting setting. I
Yeah,
just wish there was a better game associated with this setting.
yeah. I think everyone agrees with you. Well, most
Yeah,
people agree with you on that.
yeah.
But yeah, which brings us to our next point.
What happened to Sony first party games?
Yo, what is going on? Okay, maybe I'm overreacting here, right? But you think back to last generation, and you had the Resistance series. You
Hmm.
had I mean, sure, I hate it, but I can't deny that it is a good series. So you had Uncharted, you had Resistance, you had Infamous. And these were all new IPs last generation, by the way. You
Yeah,
had your Little Big Planet, you had your Mod Nation Racers.
yeah.
You had a
Decent
so
lineup.
yeah, Sony's IPs were were top notch. They were like it was like Nintendo's. It was like Nintendo with their first party games. They didn't mess around, right? And then
Yeah.
these generations come out. You had Knack, which was ass. You
Yeah.
had Infamous 3, which was eh. You had Killzone Shadowfall, which was also eh.
Yeah.
Little Big Planet 3, which was like the worst Little Big Planet yet. And
Like,
then you have the Order, which has the lowest Metacritic rating of all five, right?
yeah. And
So
I think part of the problem is that oh, do you notice how like half of those are all sequels? You know what I
this is
mean?
this is
And that's part of the problem is that these are series that started on the PlayStation 3, and that's fine with where they started, but when they make the transition to the PS4, it's kind of like, well, we've played this game already.
that's a very good point. Yeah,
And
because like Infamous and Killzone Shadowfall aren't bad games.
no, they're not. It's just we've played them. We've seen them. I still
Yeah,
personally, I still think Killzone 2 is the best Killzone out of the bunch.
yeah, I think so.
Like for me personally, and it's like I had a lot of fun with Killzone 2. I enjoyed the multiplayer, but it's like I don't need any more Killzones. Hell, I
Yeah,
think they should have just stopped at 2.
yeah. Rumor is Guerrilla is working on a new game that isn't Killzone. But anyway, no
Yeah,
point
yeah.
talking about rumors here.
But
Yeah,
it's I guess it's just another thing is that like especially we're not getting any new IPs, which is
yeah,
a
and
problem. And
yeah,
when they do try and do a new IP, they don't take the time to craft it, which is what happened with Knack. And
yes.
that's a shame because as much as I don't like Knack, I'm just like at least they tried to make a new IP. At the very least they attempted. Like they didn't just like try and continue a series that started on the PS3 or even the PlayStation
This
2.
is true. Yeah, yeah. Because another point is that is that you look at Nintendo and Microsoft, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they're doing. I mean, like Sony is selling the most of the three of them right now.
Yes, right now.
And
Sony is.
there's a lot of there's a lot of feel good vibes around Sony. But I'm just looking at the actual video games, and you look at Microsoft last year. Okay, they had the Master Chief Collection, which is pretty much just yeah, that
Yeah,
doesn't really count.
that doesn't really count.
Yeah, but then they had Forza Horizon 2,
Mhm.
and then they had what's this game called? They had Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, which was
They had
kind of
Titan.
an interesting idea.
Yeah, they had Titanfall, which sure didn't live up to all the hype, but it was still a really fun game, and
Mhm.
the developers have been supporting it since last year. Then at launch they had Killer Instinct, who
Yeah.
they're still supporting to this day, and we're gonna get to later on in the show.
Yeah.
So like
I feel this is the big difference with I think with Microsoft is that I think overall they had a better like launch selection than
yes,
the PS4. Like
yes,
over time after like looking at okay, what games are on the Xbox One, what games are on the PS4, and when you're kind of looking at it, you're just kind of like, well, at the moment it seems like, Killer Instinct and Titanfall, those are two awesome games and those are on the Xbox One, and the PS4 has like Knack and the Order 1886. So,
I mean, as much as people criticize Titanfall, I'll take Titanfall over the Order 1886 any day of the week.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, and then like don't even get me started on Nintendo. They've got Bayonetta 2, they got Super Smash Brothers, they got Mario Kart
Yeah.
8, they got the Wonderful 101. They've got they're killing it right
They are,
now.
yeah, Nintendo is killing it. I just wish they had a better console.
Yeah, exactly. Like literally, if the Wii U was not a piece of shit, I would own one right now. Because like all the games on the Wii U are awesome. I just don't
Yeah.
like that console. It just lacks a
It's
lot of things that I expect from consoles
I
now.
know. It's
Yeah.
it's it's such a conundrum. 'Cause it's like, oh, the games they're so good, but man, this machine suck.
Yeah, so I'm actually because see I like coming to this generation I had every intention of buying a PS4, right?
Yeah.
There was no question in my mind. I was like I am buying a PS4. But just as the generation has gone along, seems less and less likely that I am going to buy a PS4 because, okay, so first of all, I mean, one of the things Sony had over Microsoft was that the PS4 was cheaper than the Xbox One. That's
Yeah.
not the case anymore. The price of the PS4 has gone up in Canada while the price of the Xbox One has gone down. So,
Yeah, that's
like,
really weird. Yeah.
yeah, and then like one of the main games I was gonna buy a PS4 for, Persona 5, is on the PS3 now.
Yeah. And originally it was, well, it's for the PS3 and it's for the PS4. But I still, this is the biggest problem with this generation, is that it's like, all the games are coming out for like our PS3 and Xbox 360 generation and our PS4 and Xbox One generation. So there's no, like, when you're thinking it from a logistic point, there's no reason to switch right now. You know
Well,
what
I
I'm...
mean, there are still, because I mean, if the Order 1886 was good,
Yeah.
and Bloodborne is coming out.
Well, yeah. See, for me, Bloodborne is the thing. It's like Bloodborne is the game that I feel like, okay, I will actually buy a PS4 to play this game.
Yeah.
So that's sort of my feeling about it, and like I don't think like, the 1886 would have, made me go, oh my god, I've got to have this game, ooh. But it's one of those things where I just really I want Sony to get some better games, like,
Yeah.
and because I think the PS4 is pretty good, more as a system right now.
Yes.
Because the thing I have a problem with the Xbox One is it was meant to be like an all-in-one package. It's like,
Yeah.
this is what you use to watch TV and surf online and stuff like that, where it's like, I'm not buying a console for that. I have a perfectly good computer to do that. You know what I mean? So it is one of those things where it's like, I just wish that the state of these, like, first-party games was just better, because at the moment they're not that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is kind of sad. But speaking about Bloodborne, Bloodborne did, just recently reveal a story trailer, and it was a lot more, voiceovers and stuff like that, and it kind of showed a little bit of the plot. And a lot of people were kind of, thinking about it, is Bloodborne going to have a different type of story than the typical Souls games? So, so what are your thoughts on this, Foz? I'll let you go first.
Well, I was actually going to defer completely to you on this because okay, I guess I'll give the outsider looking in.
Okay.
I've never played any of the Souls games.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I saw the Bloodborne trailer, because what I do know from the Souls games, and feel free to correct me, right,
Okay.
is that there isn't much of a story in them.
Yeah.
The story is very hands off. You're walking around it's a very hands-off story. There's not much of a narrative in the game, not a whole lot of cutscenes or anything like that.
Yeah.
So when I saw the Bloodborne trailer, I was like, wow, this looks very story-driven and stuff. And there's like that cutscene at the start of the game and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I just I was actually hoping to get your opinion on this because I'm just an outsider. I've never played.
Okay. I'll give you that. Because the thing about the Souls games, and some people will disagree, but this is my opinion about it, is that the Souls game story, the stories in the game, like, that you have to deal with the characters and whatnot, that don't really directly affect you, they're not that amazing. Like, they're very, like, for example, the typical one is like, oh, this character killed this other character's sister, he felt bad, so kind of just wanted to be a servant for the rest of his life. When I say that doesn't seem that very interesting. But the way that it's told is very cryptic, and it doesn't give you all the answers, and you kind of have to figure it out to come to that conclusion.
Okay.
And that's where Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 shine, is they're subtle as far as conveying the story, even if the story itself isn't that, amazing. So I feel like maybe Bloodborne might have a lot more dialogue heavy stuff and maybe more of a clear-cut villain, which part of me does kind of like, because I obviously, I love it when stories are subtle. Like, that's one of the best parts of storytelling. But I don't like it when I'm so far removed from the story that it's like, well, I don't even care when a character dies or something like that. And I mean, like the one thing I will say is that I feel like Dark Souls 1 story overall was better because the characters were a little bit more interesting than in Dark
Okay.
Souls 2. So I hope that the characters in this game, like there's a couple of really interesting ones. Like I love the Onion Knight from Dark Souls 1. I love Knight Solaire and stuff like that. Like it's hard to kind of describe what these characters are like, but they have weird quirks and stuff like that that kind of make them stand out.
Okay.
So I hope that that's the direction that they're going for with this. Like trying, I hope that they're trying to be subtle, but a little bit more. Give us a reason to want to be attached to the story. A
Yeah.
little bit. You don't have to give us like, oh no, the Reapers are coming or something like that, But just a little bit. That's my hope. But that's what I've kind of seen, at least from that trailer. That
Okay.
seems a little more like, okay, we're gonna actually tell you something, this time.
Uh,
But yeah, so still excited, and that, like I said before, that's the reason why I'm getting a PS4 is for Bloodborne because I love me some Souls games.
okay.
And now next bit of news, Harmonix is apparently rumored to be making a new Rock Band game. And the big question that everyone has, should anyone care?
Yeah, like those were some dark times.
Yeah.
Just the period when Harmonix and Activision were just milking the shit out of Rock Band and
Yeah, and
Guitar
Guitar Hero.
Hero.
Now, and I want to say something real quick. I do like Rock Band. Like, I like Rock Band. I played Rock Band 2. I played Rock Band 3, and I thought it was great, but it should have ended there. It should have ended there. They should have just stopped, and that would have been fine. But they just continued.
Yeah.
And then when we started getting like band specific versions, like remember Rock Band like Green Day or
Yeah.
Aerosmith Guitar Hero, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, what I never understood. Okay, I mean, I know why because of money, but I
Yeah.
never it never made sense that there should have been a sequel to begin with, because all the sequels ever added was more songs,
Yeah.
and a few features here and there, but it was mainly just more songs. Stuff they could easily add through DLC.
Yeah.
So I never I never understood
The
why.
the biggest thing with the biggest problem I had, like, even though I liked Rock Band 2 because I thought it looked a little bit better than Rock Band 1, it
Yeah.
wasn't that much of a graphical overhaul. So for me, it was a little bit like the only reason why I'm buying this is because there's game exclusive songs. So
Yeah.
there's certain songs that's like, oh, you can only play these songs on the original Rock Band, or you can only play these songs on Rock Band 2. And some of these songs are really, really, really good. Like I
Yeah.
really love Painkiller. Like Painkiller's a great song, but that I feel is like one of the biggest problems with it was it's like, wow, this is really is kind of just the same game. Like there really is not much happening right now. But I feel like it's like like I feel like music games feel so far away now. You know what I mean? Like
They,
they
they do, they do. But hey, Harmonix are the dudes behind what's that dance game on Connect again?
Dance Central or
Yes, Dance
yeah.
Central. They're the ones behind Dance Central, right?
Yeah.
Which is like the best Connect game ever, and I'm not being right now.
Yeah. Cuz I
It's
was
like
about
you,
to say I was like, "Wait, you're positive with Connect?"
hey, I'm an honest guy, and I think that like a game like Dance Central was the reason why Connect existed. It gave you the Rock Band experience, except with dancing.
Yeah.
But I digress. These dudes know their rhythm games, so
Mhm.
if this is true and they're actually working
Mhm.
on a new Rock Band, I do think it's going to be something special, and it's going to remind people why they loved music games to begin with.
Mhm.
But and like so long as they don't oversaturate the market again,
Mhm.
I mean, there was a year when Activision released eight Guitar Heroes.
Yeah, that was
One
nuts.
in 12 months they released eight Guitar Heroes. Anyway, so that they don't oversaturate the market again,
Yeah.
I think the game will do fine, and I think
Yeah.
hey, it's
It,
it'll feed a niche,
Yeah,
yes.
it will give us reason to dust off our Guitar Hero peripherals and our Rock Band drum sets. So I still have those, and they're just sitting there in my closet. I'm just like, But the one thing I will say is though, I kind of wish that they would show more. Because they were rumored to be making a music-based shooter, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I want to see Harmonix do that because that sounds awesome.
that does sound
I want a dubstep gun. Like, remember that there was a dubstep gun in Saints Row 4, and I was like, oh my god, I want that in another game. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, there was a disco ball gun in one of the Ratchet and Clanks.
Oh yeah, it was the Groovatron. That was the best thing in that Ratchet and Clank game because no matter what it was, you just throw a disco ball and then the enemies would just dance. You can use that on the final boss and it's amazing.
That is funny. That is pretty.
But yeah, I guess yeah, it would be kind of interesting to see another rock band. Just try not to oversaturate it this time.
Yeah.
Just try. And then finally, our last piece of news: Agnos was revealed for Killer Instinct, and he is like this big golem-y dude who's got like a really big face.
He looks really cool.
Yeah.
So one interesting thing about him is that he's in a grappler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know.
Because I was looking at him, it's like he's big and he's buffy. Like, shouldn't he be a grappler? Like, I'm thinking Zangief.
When I saw his silhouette in the announcement trailer for the season 2, I was like, okay, this is definitely going to be a grappler. But no, he does have a command grab, but it's very specific and stuff. No, the thing about him, he has a very interesting design. So he's got this resource called rocks, right? He can pick up rocks and stuff them in himself, right?
Yeah.
So what happens when he does that is that he gains armor.
Okay.
And but he starts to move slower. He gains armor, but he starts to move a lot slower. So he can pick up to four rocks, and for every rock he has, he gains an extra hit of armor.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing is that these rocks, he can spend them to do certain moves. Like he can do this thing where he sets up a wall behind an opponent or behind himself, right? So he like limits his opponent's movement. So he can use a rock to do that, and he can use a rock to summon this big. Oh no! He can destroy the wall to summon this big bat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That covers like 3/4 of the screen. It breaks after I think 3 hits.
Yeah.
But it controls a shit ton of space, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're sacrificing. Okay, do I want to have defense? Do I want to have a little bit more range, or do I want to like corner them into a specific spot? So it gives you a lot more. It gives you a variety of different options.
Yeah. So he's a very unique and interesting character. Another thing about him is that he has a move where if he hits them and there's a wall behind them. They break through the wall and it does like a lot of damage, right? So if somehow, I mean, this is very situational, but if you somehow manage to set up 4 walls behind your opponent, which is the maximum number of walls you can have, and you knock them through all 4, it does like 80%.
Yeah, and
it is ridiculous. So he's a very unique, he's a very interesting looking character, and I give props to Double Helix, the developers. Because he's a very, very interesting fighting game character, and I'm gonna keep my eye on that. And then at the very end of his trailer, as Double Helix tends to do, you see another character who is called Ghost Girl right now, who is pretty much she looks like she was taken straight out of the Grudge.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, oh, Grudge Girl. All right, cool.
Yeah, Grudge Girl. So we don't know anything about her yet, except that she's probably going to give some people nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looked
pretty cool. Nice. She made you sneeze. Damn, Grudge Girl, to stop. You're going to kill Fawaz.
But yeah.
But yeah, like I think these two characters are pretty interesting. I'm interested if the size of Agnos is gonna affect how people play against him because
he's
huge, big giant golem.
Like, it is unbelievable. Oh, and he also has a bit of story with oh god, what's that? The mummy. Oh god, I can't remember his name. The mummy dude.
Yeah, the mummy dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So that dude, his storyline is that back in the day, he's been he did some oh my god, I should have read up on this better. I knew this stuff, I've just forgotten. It's early, okay, excuse me. But yeah,
it's all good.
The mummy guy, he Aganos has been hunting him down. And like he has been hunting him down. So like at the start of the trailer, there's a little bit of back and forth between the two of them. Well, not because Aganos doesn't talk.
Exactly.
The mummy guy was saying some stuff to Aganos, talking about how, oh, aren't you tired of chasing me? Your old master is dead, and in this new period of time, I've got power that you couldn't even believe. I just thought that was cool because a lot of fighting games do this bad thing where they focus on the main characters. Your Jago or your Ryu, your Ken.
Yeah.
And then the other characters get kind of forgotten about. So it's always nice when you see like in this situation, these two characters, they have a little history, and I just thought that was cool. But
I like that they're building up these other characters in different ways.
Yes, exactly.
Because because Street Fighter is not all about Ryu and Ken. Like, I know some people believe that, but it's like there are other people there. But I think we're going to have to wrap it up. So if you liked what you heard, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Leave us a question in the comment section, and we'll answer it in the next podcast. And as always, this was William Liberty and...
Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.